go longer. Loop that. Yeah. Vibe with it.
Okay.
Vibing with it.
I see you scratching the seat time.
Vibing with it. Vibing with it.
Yo. T-Ton in the house. This is can't tell us nothing in your face right now. Right,
like
right
YouTube,
here
we in your face.
Like
on your
YouTube
phone.
in your iTunes. T-Ton is currently in your face right here on a Tuesday night. We got John, we got Amitri, we got Tandy, we got myself, Antoine. The four of us make Can't Tell Us Nothing, an improv group out of Houston, Texas. Tonight, joined by a very special guest, joined by UCB legend, Betsy Stover, actor, podcaster, improviser, host of the podcast, Why Mommy Drinks. Hello and welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm excited to play.
Thank you for joining. Thanks
Yes.
for playing around with us.
For sure. Thank you.
Currently hailing from LA.
Mm-hmm.
City of Angels.
I know.
As I know. Betsy, I was listening to an episode of Why Mommy Drinks earlier this week. Great stuff. I listened to the Bobby Moynihan episode, but I want to learn a little bit about what inspired you to start the podcast.
Oh, well, so I have 3 kids. I have a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 12-year-old. And I had a particularly harrowing trip to a sporting goods store where like no one would help me, and my children were going bonkers, and they were like pulling basketballs out of boxes and like throwing them around the store and like picking up free weights and walking around with them and being like, "Mama, I'm exercising. I'm getting fit." And then they were like fighting, and I had to separate them, and it was just such a nightmare. And I told my friend about it, and she was like, "We should have a podcast." So my friend Amanda Allen, she has twins and also an older son, and she was like, "You and I have the same nightmare slash like we both laugh at the nightmare that parenting can oftentimes be." We can swear here, yeah.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Please do.
Get down and dirty, Mom.
So she was like, "We both see the fun in just the absolute shit show that parenting can be. So like, let's do a podcast where we have people come on and tell us stories about times their kids drove them to drink, literally or figuratively."
I would love to join that podcast. I have one every day. I also have 3 children. Mine are 11 months, 3 years, and 5 years old.
Wow. 5.
You are legitimately in the shit.
Yes, knee deep in the shit.
Yeah, and you know, like it's great, and then some days you end the day like a quivering pile like on the floor, and you're like, "Who am I? What have I done?"
I have a 21-month-old and another one on the way.
Congratulations!
Just dipping the toe into the shit. Not quite in there just yet. Yeah. But thank you.
And I've
21. Oh yeah.
Oh no, go ahead. No, I was about to say, and I've come through the shit. I got a 21-year-old and a 15-year-old. So I'm, a little, I get a little teen, but
well past.
It's nothing. Yeah, it's the kind of I want to.
I've heard that there's still shit shows. It's just like different kinds of shit shows.
Way different kinds.
now it's like what? Well, I don't want to put words into your mouth, but yeah.
The threats mean nothing now. I used to have some pretty colorful ones. Yeah, I used to have some pretty colorful ones. Now they're just memories.
the threats is something I'm wondering how to handle, because every parent, it's a valuable weapon in the arsenal, but you hope you don't have to follow up most of the time. You don't have to come through on what you're threatening. So I'm trying to balance, like in my head, in the future, what will I threaten with, and how will I execute that if I need to? Because I need to know you have teeth, right? I need to know you could do something.
but they're also children, and there's stages that you just never experience, and they know how to push your buttons there, you know. And so I think it's good to have like a method of like, okay, if they reach this level, I'm going to threaten them, and then I'm going to strike them afterwards, or whatever you do, smite them. But to me, in my experience, and Betsy, Tandy, you can back me up if I'm lying or not. My kids get me on days where I'm like low energy, have low fuel in the tank. It's been like a series of things that have to line up, and then these children are just going, you know, ape shit. They're just trying you every single type of way, and it's almost like they sense the low energy, and the frustration is just already there, and they just push you. And in those instances, like I think it's like you got to give yourself the freedom to spaz on your children if you love them. If you love them, if you don't love them, I would say it's not safe for the children to do that. If you love them, you got to give them at least 1 to 3 in their life. You got to you don't have to hurt them, right? But it could be like a public display of humiliation. For me, I'm a good athlete. I'm really good at throwing. I don't like hitting my kids, but I will throw something across the room with pinpoint accuracy and hit you, and just look at you and like, yes, I did that in front of everybody. You are getting to me, right? But I don't wake up every day like I'm going to fuck up my kids. Yeah. They're going to do this. It's like just series of little dominoes that happen, and you're like, man, if I don't get to this drinking time, I'm going to throw this picture frame at this 3-year-old. just feel like shit. Yeah, it is, man. They get you. So whatever your buttons are, your children will find them, and you're gonna have to like reprogram and figure out new buttons, because they're gonna they take over you, man. You watch Maury.
Yeah. That I used to just do like verbal colorful stuff, and I was really like trying it out, so like to see if it would sound good if I told people later, because it's like, you know, they're doing whatever, and I'm like, y'all don't know me. No, you just you don't really know me. You only know me for a couple of years. I will have the cops all up in there. And then I go back and I'm like, that sounded cool. I don't know what my kids thought. You know what does that mean? The cops all in this.
Real quick, shout out to Katie. Apparently, so Katie says, so y'all, Lucky is now in the David Bowie after we watched Labyrinth, and he says to me, "Mommy, you can really see the Goblin King's penis." I've never watched Labyrinth. Is that a big part of it? Is that a big reveal?
When I was 10 years old, I watched Labyrinth for the first time, and it was a sexual awakening. It was like, who is this? Who is this dominant, androgynous, very tight pants wearing
very
man? Yeah, I'd never seen anything like that before. I think that's true of a lot of people watching Labyrinth for the first time.
Where did you see it on TV? Like, how do you even see it?
I saw it.
We were at
a family friend's house, and we were having like a movie night. And I was like, what is happening?
They're like, let's watch Labyrinth.
Has anyone had an awakening sexual experience? We're gonna watch Labyrinth. All right, little kids. That's awesome. No,
in my experience, everyone either has a sexual awakening watching Labyrinth or watching Robin Hood, the animated movie with the foxes.
What?
Foxy Fox? Well, Tandy, don't act like you don't know the Foxy Fox.
I know it, but I'm trying to remember what the sexual.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, and I've watched that over and over again. But what was the sexy scene there?
There's no sexy scene. It's just the sexy Robin Hood Fox. I know so many women who like, I swooned for that character.
He was awesome. He was.
I'll throw in a honorable mention to the Nala scene in Lion King when she gave him the look.
She gave him some eyes.
She gave him the look, you know.
She gave him some eyes. Right.
Everybody knew that was a look that you wanted to get when you get older. Just put it that way.
You gave him some eyes. You're right. You're right.
Betsy, you know the look, yeah.
No.
Lion King.
It was a sexual awakening for you? That look?
It triggered something. It triggered
something. Oh, man. Antoine. Learn something new every day.
Oh, hilarious.
That's why people really like the Lion King.
Really?
I'm trying to think, what movie was that for me?
Boom.
Yes, that one. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a funky, yeah, intimate look. It's only a couple of things on her mind with that look.
The grass is itching her back.
No. She has a smirk. Her eyes are like, yeah, that's a better image right there. Look at that.
Look at what Rob Perez says right down here.
What's it
What
say?
does Rob Perez say?
Says, that look Nala gave Simba in the field should have been enough to make the Lion King at least PG-13. We all know the look.
That was a good one. That was a good one. I can't think of any scenes that I remember. I noticed toys. I remember I had a lot of girl cousins when they would play with their Barbies, and I had my action figures were all muscular and muscles on top of muscles on top of muscles, and you get the Barbie dolls, and they have the curves, and they have the the underwear and the tight pants, and it's you're like, oh my God, and you don't even really know what's happening. You just know, like you said, your body is starting to notice these things, right? But yeah.
Yeah, why would they have kids play with a grown woman body doll? I'm just thinking about that.
Have you seen the LOL dolls today? The LOL girls look like strippers.
I know, but
from Miami.
But if you think about it, though, but when you think about it, like, why would kids play with like an adult doll? Like, why would?
Well, Tandy, did you have Barbie dolls? Because mine were always talking.
I did. That's what I'm saying. Bad idea. That's what I'm saying, man. Why would you do that? What's the benefit of that? The dolls.
It's a lesser threatening way for children to explore, I guess, their sexual awakenings.
We cut to Barbie headquarters. All right, team. You guys know why we're here. All the complaints we've been getting from parents about the dolls. Apparently, the kids across the nation are just making these dolls fuck each other, and that's all they're doing. That's not why we developed these toys.
No,
right?
Of course.
Well. To be fair, I do think giving dolls penises and the lady dolls vagina holes is a little bit too much for children.
Well,
the old days we used to just give them all androgynous body parts. Today we're getting a little bit too natural.
We decided early on that science is important here. We cannot skimp out on the representation of genitalia. But one thing we can do is maybe make these dolls less attractive. I'd like to hear some ideas on what we can do to these dolls to make it so kids don't think that they are going to have sex with each other. Maybe they can be platonic friends. Maybe they should be like friend zone dolls. Is what I'm thinking.
Well, I've been working on female prototype, and I don't know if you guys can see, but I put glasses on her, so that should make her unfuckable. She's wearing glasses.
What if the glasses fall off?
Is there like a?
That's where we started.
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. I'll put it back.
Yeah. It was good. Idea. It was almost as good as your ponytail idea. Those two together are going to be boom.
Pull it up.
Yeah.
What if we give Ken just like a nerdy haircut with like a really hard part and just a nerdy haircut.
Nerdy haircut.
Like an alfalfa kind of cut.
Yeah.
little cow lick in the
No
back.
one fucks alfalfa. That's
no one
awesome.
would.
That's
No
a
one
great
would
idea.
alfalfa.
I mean, alfalfa's a child. That's the first part of why they don't.
That's true.
But
That is 100% true.
we always have to remember that, guys. We make these
Candy,
comparisons.
what?
Talking about children.
I was gonna say, but what if like a child is playing with him and they lean him forward and his hair falls forward over his eyes, and then it's got to move back dreamily. You know, if it's a little bit long there. I mean, you know, I'm not
You're
sure.
right.
If,
You're right.
Some child might be turned on. Maybe, I don't know.
Hey, it can happen. It can happen.
What if we say that Ken has COVID and we turn him into a COVID doll, so that way he has to technically be quarantined from other dolls?
I like this. I
Mm,
like where this
Give him a little mask,
yeah.
make him look a little flush and pasty, you know.
Then you have to keep a 6 foot radius around.
Yeah,
These dolls can't come within 6 feet of each other.
Not at all.
That's good, and it's topical, and it lets children, you know, therapeutically work through their feelings about COVID. I love this.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, and we can give him a little, I don't know if we want to go with sound. We can make him cough or something, like a little button in the back they can push and go, or just a little, I don't know, a little something like that.
Oh.
Make it real.
Let's
If
do it.
we're trying to make him unattractive, I have to say there is nothing more unattractive and unappealing to women than sick men who won't stop complaining about how sick they feel.
You're a genius, Betsy.
Yeah.
You're a genius.
So you push the button on him, he coughs, and he says, I don't feel well.
No, even better. It just happens randomly. You don't have to push the button. It just happens. Like,
Oh, that's even better. No control of it.
No control, just constant
Irritating.
bitching and complaining from the Ken doll. I think we are on to something.
I think this is it. COVID Ken is what we need to be putting on shelves. And King. Oh.
Yes.
Handled.
COVID.
Done.
What if his hair falls